You're watching Umami.
Hey everyone, what's going on? Oh. So, I've got, I'm gonna be working on some, stuff for the next episode, which is gonna be over 10 minutes long. Oh my god. It's like pinging sounds. Hold on a second here. There's something just happened. There's like, it's like a noise in my ear. Are people's, what is that? Oh, okay, hold on. Just give me a second, guys. I'm like confused right now. I'm ready. I just started. Something's not right. Okay. It stopped. Just like I get this like ping sound, like someone's
What?
It sounds like it's coming in from.
They add something to YouTube where it pings you?
Oh god, it's happening like every 5 seconds. Hold on.
It's your heart rate monitor.
Let me just see if I can fix this.
Just mute the tab if it's coming out of YouTube.
What's that?
You can mute the tab if it's coming out of YouTube.
Can you guys hear that noise? Is it a tab?
Could be.
Oh.
Pain.
I feel like something's broken and it's just making this sound in my ear. I'm gonna have to, like, what?
Let me hear it.
It's that noise in my web series, like, OBS. It stopped. Oh, do you hear that?
Your own sound?
Well, why is it playing back over and over again?
Just make it stop.
Streamlabs alert box? I think it's this. Refresh the cache. Redo
Maybe you're just...
donated super chat money or something. Hey, Redo, thank you. Hold on, let me just move this up here. I think it's underneath the screen and I wasn't seeing it. There. Okay.
So there's stuff happening, you think it's broken?
Hey, Hat Mouse donated. Whoa.
You're so confused.
These must have all happened, like they got backed up or something, and I think they came in just right now.
Well, they're gonna play now.
Listen,
one after the other.
Everyone who just did a super chat either today or yesterday, and it didn't show. I just want to say thank you. I think they all came in at once, and I don't know why. It's computer. Anyways, sorry guys. All right, so yeah, as I was saying, I'm working on episode 23. It's over 10 minutes long. It's going to be probably the best episode ever. So if I'm not hyping it up enough, it's seriously, I'm extremely excited about this episode. The music is going to be like some of the best, probably. It's going to be better than episode 11. So it's just taken a long time because there's like so much to do. But it'll be worth it. I don't know what's going on with those pings. I heard them in my headset, but I don't know if you guys heard them. So something always goes wrong. So yeah, and anyway, so yeah, usually I don't stream in the middle of the afternoon too, but I'm gonna do it today. So this shot I'm working on is gonna be Well, if you're watching the stream, it's not like spoilers or anything, but you're gonna see some stuff that's gonna be in the episode, so. I'm essentially doing another parallax shot, and so that I have to draw a lot of different layers. And this one's gonna have some clouds in it too. Like, I always have a lot of clouds. But this one has lots of different types of clouds. This one, it's gonna be gray. Yeah, so there's that. I'm working on this, and also the Corona Wave Part 2 and the Corona Wave 1, which is the alternate names are Problems and Solutions. Putting those onto a vinyl record, and they're going to be mixed together, basically. And there'll be more information about that too. If anyone wants to pre-order them, there's a link in the description. Basically, the jackets are going to have this like soft touch treatment to it, so it's going to be like kind of like I can't really describe it, but it's like a smooth kind of like velvety kind of feel. And the interior jacket is going to be it's going to just be white, but it's going to be embossed with the Hex System logo, so it's going to be kind of bumpy. That'd be kind of cool. And then the vinyl record itself is going to be color in color, and the middle color is going to be black, and then the outside color is going to be Coke bottle green, translucent. So it's kind of cool. And right now they're making them, or they're about to start making it. Well, it takes a long time. Basically, it's going to take about 12 weeks. The mastering company, like, I had to learn a lot about making vinyls, and there's a lot of steps to it. Like, the mastering company I use is in the UK, Curve Pusher, and they cut the grooves of the vinyl, like using a machine, onto what's called a lacquer, and then it's like basically some sort of it's like an impression of it's like a negative impression or something like that, and then it gets sent to this place in the Czech Republic where they're going to do electroplating. So they take the lacquer and they make like a metal stamper out of it, and then it gets sent to Hamilton, Ontario. I think it's Hamilton, where they actually press the records themselves. If you ever looked up how records are made, it's kind of cool because they take like these things that look like hockey pucks, and they put them on the machine, whatever, and then they get squashed down on top of a stamper, and then it like squeezes it out into like a circle, and then they have to like trim off the edges and stuff. Anyway, that's what's going on there with those Corona Wave vinyls. I just bought metempsychosis recently. I want to say I love the album. Hey, Oat or Ot, thank you for that. Can you hide Soup Sun in the background of next episode? Well, listen, guys, I have an excellent Soup Sun idea ready to go, and it's like I already started animating some of it, but I want to work on this next episode of Interface first before I do another Soup Sun video. The Soup Sun video I have in mind is hilarious. In my opinion, it's going to be really good, so I just have to... It took me a long time to figure out how to make another Soup Sun, like make another one that would be good. If only I could release these animations quicker, but it takes a while for me. It's basically just me and Carolina drawing these things. John Johnson, I like that your work has a cybernetic tone to it. Yeah, man. I think it's kind of hard for me to not incorporate that stuff into my work because it seems like every other day it's like it just seems to get worse and worse in terms of technology's like impact on our lives and that sort of thing. I think if I didn't draw stuff like that, it would be kind of like, I don't know, I just feel like it's like you can't really ignore it, you know? So I don't know how many times I've drawn clouds in interface, but it's probably like over half a dozen.
Yeah, you sure love drawing clouds.
This one's going to be a bit different because it's not actually clouds. It's like a reveal to something else. But they look like clouds. Is the Corona Wave universe canon and interface? I don't really, I think pretty much everything on the channel is canon within the interface universe, I think. Unless there's like, because if I thought about this recently and most of it makes sense still, even like the one where Mischief and Henrik are going to get like hamburgers at McDonald's. It could just be assumed that they did that sometime during interface when they weren't doing what they're doing now, because there's like, it's not like a complete like you could like following them, you know, there could be a scene that you didn't see, you know. Jonah Der Jonah, I bought my girlfriend the Mischief Bird plushie for Valentine's Day, and she now refuses to take gifts from me ever again.
What does that mean?
Was she disturbed by him, or did she just...
Yeah, I want to know the context. Because if she's disturbed by it, you need to leave.
I think you need a new girlfriend.
Yeah, that was a deal breaker right there.
Listen, if it's between your girlfriend and me or Mischief, you gotta choose.
Obviously
It's obviously.
not her.
It's obvious.
Subscribe for horrible relationship advice.
Plenty of people seem to be ignoring it. Hold on. I might have missed what you said there. Ignoring what? Oh, right. Okay, right. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. I think. I'm not sure actually what. I sent some. Let's see. Gnostic themes in your series. Am I reading too much into it? Hold on. Let me just make sure I understand what that means. Yeah, that's okay. A little bit, I guess. Yeah, because I don't know. Like I feel like if you're making a web series about like creatures and monsters and that sort of thing, you kind of have to like have some sort of like mystical or spiritual themes to your work. Otherwise, it just seems kind of like silly, I guess, you know, like just, I don't know. That makes... Because as much as it is fun to make like wacky, crazy monsters in interface, it would be kind of cool to like try to incorporate some sort of spirituality or whatever within the universe, so it doesn't seem so just 100% fabricated. It could be like it comes from some sort of place of I guess meaning or something like that. Do you like Grubhub? I've never used Grubhub, but I've used. We don't have it, I don't think, in Montreal. But I've used like Uber Eats and Skip the Dishes, whatever, and it's good. But I mean, here's the thing: a lot of restaurants had to close down because of coronavirus, and at the same time, these restaurants aren't even open right now. Like you can't go to them. I can't go to a restaurant. You have to order online only, or takeout. A lot of these restaurants didn't even have like functioning websites, so it's kind of hard not to use them right now if you want to get some food like Chinese food, or something, or like I don't know, Indian food, whatever. So I've definitely used them. I always give as like a nice tip on the delivery, but it's I understand that these companies take a percentage, and it might actually be quite steep. But I don't really know what the solution to that is. It's like there's this Chinese place down the street, and they actually have it set up that you can order directly through their website, and so I just do that when I can. But a lot of these restaurants don't even have like their own website, so kind of have to use it, I guess, if you want to order from restaurants right now. Though I do prefer to just like actually go out once in a while. But this whole year, I haven't really been able to do that. The restaurant's been shut down like since the summer, basically. Jamie Carroll, hi. Let's see. Nah, she loves it. She's just afraid my gifts are going to get more absurd from now on. Um, well, I think that's. I mean, that's not. That's a. They should get more absurd. I think that we. That's. Can't really deny that. Oh my God, is Umami doing what Joe does now? Who's Joe? I'm
The
sure.
answer is no, because you don't even know what they're talking about.
Is it Joe Gatto? Can you briefly explain the depth of Cami? I just want to know more. So the Cami robot is kind of like a vacuum cleaner.
Wow.
It's like it's not a vacuum cleaner. It's like it kind of absorbs all the creatures within the interface universe so that the reading sky can restore the Earth back to the way it was before. In a literal sense, she copies the souls into her own consciousness and then uploads them to the baby blimp. So she probably retains some of that information as well as delivering it to the baby. But if you think about it, she probably, just like any sort of sentient AI, whatever, the more information that she captures, the more it becomes self-aware. So if you were to think of the monsters within the interface as not so much as being monsters, but being some sort of metaphor for liberty, or like rethinking, or diversity of thought, or whatever, she is basically eradicating the Earth from it so that the Earth becomes more homogeneous. But while doing so, she kind of develops some sort of consciousness that's similar to something that a non-robot would have, like a human. But ultimately, she's still being controlled by Greetings Robotics. So in the end, I'm not going to really say what happens in the end because that's still to come, but that's my idea behind the robot of Cami. And she's called Kami because of the Shinto religion in Japan, where they kind of refer to these spirits and stuff as Kami. And it also it's pronounced Kami, I think, in Japan. But if you anglicize it, it kind of makes it sound like a feminine name, which is a female-looking robot. And she's kind of like giving this information to the baby blimp, similar to how like a mother would feed a baby that is like in the womb. And so as more information gets delivered to the baby will eventually be able to birth itself. And so that's what you're seeing at the end of episode 22. The baby's kind of transforming. The blimp is transforming. And you're going to find out more about what happens to the blimp in episode 24. Episode 23, well, it is kind of like within the subconscious of the babies. So it's kind of confusing. Did you read the entries for the Valentine's Day contest? Guys, I'm really sorry. I haven't been able to check that stuff because I've just been working on interface, like drawing, like literally spending 12 hours a day, and I have not had the chance to look at it yet, but I should probably look at it later on. So it means she might start thinking about her actions. Yeah, that's possible. Okay, so I have one cloud here. So wait, is interface done episode 24? Do you plan to create stuff? What do you plan to do after interface concludes? So when interface concludes, it doesn't necessarily mean it's the end of the storyline. It's the end of the overall story arc that has started since episode 1. And so if I were to make interface episode 25, I think it wouldn't be called interface episode 25. I think I would change the name. It would be something else, and it would take place after. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I wanted the interface series to be a self-contained storyline, and when you watch it from beginning to end, it has a conclusion within its own narrative. And I don't want it to end up like something that just goes on way too long and then viewers lose interest. And I don't know, maybe it starts getting a little repetitive too, because I'm covering the same themes over and over again. So I have an idea if I were to pick it up again after concluding interface, what I would do. And but I just don't want to tell you guys what it is because I don't really know how I'm going to be doing that. But don't worry, like the interface universe is still going to be around. I'm still going to be making mischief videos, and I'm still going to be doing bonus videos and that sort of thing. But these series might take a bit of a break, just so that I have time to do some other things that I want to do. That's all. I think it will make the series will be more, it'd be more strong if I were to conclude it and have it be a finished product rather than just kind of dragging it out forever, you know? Also, you guys have to keep in mind, I've been doing this for like 3.5 years, and I kind of need to like shift gears a little bit. So, because I'm going a little crazy. Do you feel it's important forming some thematic statements when it comes to crafting a story? Heron and Mouse. Yes, I think if I'm ever trying to make a web series or some sort of I think it's important that there's some sort of thematic elements, even if it's just like kind of in the background. Otherwise, I feel like you're kind of just making stuff for the point of making it, and there's no real meaning behind it. So I feel like everything sort of has to have a purpose. Aesthetic Capybara. Hello there, how's life? Here's a coffee for you. Hey, Aesthetic Capybara, thank you very much. Hi from Japan. Hey, Koss. Derek Marks, how did you learn to animate? Are there any courses or tutorials that you're fond of? Hey, Daryl, hey, thank you for the super chat there too. I just saw that. So when I was a teenager, I did like stop motion animation a long time with like Lego. And so that was kind of like the basis of but I haven't done that for probably about 18 years ago. I pretty much self-taught myself how to animate in Photoshop. And over time, I discovered that there was some programs like this Animator's Toolbar that helps make things a little easier. But if you were to start from scratch, maybe I would suggest checking out some other programs like Blender, because there's this new thing that they're working on called Grease Pencil. It's not new, but they've been developing this feature very rapidly over the past couple of years, and it's probably the best 2D animations programs, and it's free. So I would recommend that. It has a whole bunch of cool features, and if you're starting from scratch, learning a new program, you're gonna have to learn something. So I would suggest learning the Blender Grease Pencil tool, which seems to be a very promising tool. I don't really have any tutorials on it, but there's this channel on YouTube called Worthy Kids. This guy makes animations too, and he uses the Grease Pencil, and he actually has tutorials on his own YouTube channel. I think if you type in Worthy Kids, I'll spell it out, and then like animation tutorial on YouTube, he has like a bunch of videos, and they're like over an hour long, and he'll kind of walk you through it. So otherwise, like I don't use the Grease Pencil tool. I use Photoshop and After Effects, and it's I have my reasons, but basically at this point I don't want to switch over to a new software because it would just stall the development of my series. So but I do kind of want to learn how to use it. I have been slowly trying to figure it out, but I just don't want to. I'm kind of comfortable where I am right now, and eventually someday I'll probably switch over. I just have to, commit to. Maybe I'll make a few short videos using it, first, just to get comfortable with it. Hey, Cornelius, thank you. Hey, Quentin, I received the Mischief Bird plushie. Just want to say thank you, and it's an excellent merch item. Hey, thank you, Quentin. I'm very happy how they turned out. I'm really excited how they turned out. I think we went through like 6 prototypes with the people at Teespring to make sure he's perfect, make sure his like proportions are correct and stuff. Because
Hi.
Caroline is over there. She's just said hello. There was like issues with the prototypes. They had like his wings are too small or something, or his eyes are in the wrong place. But now he looks perfect. So, Jonathan Weimer. Hey, thank you, man. I really appreciate that. Tava. I get this question a lot, but I'll just say it again. Episode 24 will be the last episode of Interface, but not the end of the world of or the character. So it could be more in the future. It's just that timeline, Interface timeline, is going to be episode 1 to 24. Got any plans to work with the Minute Hour again in the future? Not really. If I think of something, and I feel like he would be into working together on it, I just send him an email. But I don't really have anything right now because I'm just doing this web series. Okay, so I have to. Is there a possibility of a mischief frog? I might do one. Like, but the thing is, making the merch items is kind of like a business risk for me because I have to front them all the money myself ahead of time, and if I don't make enough sales, basically I don't cover my costs of making them. So I knew there was a lot of demand for a plushie, like a Mischief Bird plushie. I'm just not so sure if there's enough demand for another plushie so soon. Especially since this year I'm going to be making the Interface Part 2 vinyl records, CDs, the Corona Wave vinyl record, and possibly, I will be making a DVD or Blu-ray of Interface. So there's a lot of things that's going to be like custom made this year, and I think if I put a plushie in there too, that's just going to be too much. But who knows? Like in the future, maybe that there might be another opportunity to do something like that because it is kind of fun. But my channel is still kind of it's big, but it's not like I don't get like that many views really. I mean, when we compare it to some other YouTube channels that are making merch and that sort of thing. So it's hard for me to take risks like that, I guess. I bought the bird Mischief and he's in my car. He's my good luck charm. Tweet, tweet, tweet. Thank you guys. Yeah, I like David Lynch's movies for sure. Yeah. Do you guys ever see hold on. You guys ever see The Straight Story by David Lynch? It's like one of his lesser known movies, but I think it's one of his best ones. I want to watch it again sometime. How did you go about developing Chimney Alfonso? During the summer, Carolina and I went to National Park. We went to do some hiking and stuff because, well, it was Carolina's birthday, and also I just wanted to go outside.
Whoa.
So
You went outside, everyone.
We went to Mont Tremblant National Park, and I was sitting on top of the mountain looking into the distance, and I was thinking to myself, like, what if there was like a house out there, like, and there was some guy just like in the house, but he's like stuck inside his own chimney pipe, and no one would be able to help him. That's pretty much what I was thinking.
Yeah. Really deep thought, philosophical character development, lots of brain. Not just you just friggin' staring into space and tripping.
So I decided when I came back I was going to make that into an animation. And then it turned into a choose your own adventure sort of thing because I wanted to try something new. And
then you regretted it because it was too much work.
Yeah, it was a lot of work. It was way too much work, and I regretted it like after the first week. And but now it's finished. But I don't think I'm going to do another choose your own adventure YouTube thing because way too much work, man. I made like 29 separate videos, and I know a lot of it's like the same shot basically with different dialogue, but it's not easy. Like, and not only that, just keeping track of all of the dialogue and how it links up, that was a nightmare too. I think I had like a tree, we call it like a storyline tree on my desk, and it just looked like a spider web.
You had one piece of paper with the little flow chart on it. It was not that big of a deal, okay?
Listen, for someone like me, that stuff could confuse the hell of me. I just started my stream
with zero organization skills.
Yes. For someone who got confused about the sounds of my own web stream when I started it, just
You would have to make a whole bullet point list. Oh no.
Is there an Easter egg in it? Not really. I mean, I didn't really put any Easter eggs in it. No. They can't really put Easter eggs. There's no like clickable area that you can't click because it's just a big button because it's out. Can you go get the door? Yeah.
What's that?
I think it might be I got a keyboard. I ordered a keyboard. I'm using a Windows keyboard on a Mac computer, and it's fine, but buttons are all wrong. Yeah, I went outside. Hey, Jamie, no worries. You should go and eat. Hey, I want you to know that a lot of people watch you in existential Russia. Yeah, I don't know. That's interesting because I have a lot of like Russian fans, and like I can tell because they're always like writing comments in Russian on my channel, and I'm just like, I can't read that. I don't know what it means. I always assume that they're like writing something like really angry because it's like all cap blocks and it's in like Russian, what do you call it? Acrylics? But then sometimes I translate it and it's just something really sweet. It's kind of funny. Okay. All right. I'll put this on later. Thank you, Cameron. Keyboard showed up.
I opened the door without a mask.
Oh yeah? And what happened?
Nothing.
Geronimo, or sorry, Gergamo. Thank you for the choose your adventure and all the other stuff. Hey, thank you, Gargamo. I appreciate that. I like your picture there, the little dog.
Ugh.
How was working with Replica voice synthesizer AI, by the way? Did you run into any problems during the recording? So I remember like signing up to their beta like a year and a half ago, and I remember they just launched it like not so long ago, and I had early access to it, and so I actually emailed I don't know if it's the president or whatever, but the guy who's in charge of that. He was like really supportive of my animations, because I was wondering like, can I use the voices like in monetized videos and that sort of thing, and he was all for it. And so and when I ran out of like credits, this was before they had like a paid service, like I ran out of credits and I just messaged him and he just added more credits for me. So I think it's pretty sweet for that sort of project, you know, if you want to have text to speech. And the thing is, when I made the Chimney Alfonso video, they hadn't quite worked out all the kinks in their software, so he still kind of sounds like he has like a vocoder over his voice. Kind of sounds like a bit of tremolo or something. That sort of sounds synthetic, basically, is what I'm saying. As soon as, like, almost like a few weeks after I released that episode, they upgraded their software, and now when you do text-to-speech, it's like super clear sounding. Like, it sounds much better than it even did for the Chimney Alfonso video. And obviously I could have, like, you know, hired a voice actor, and that's what I probably would have done originally, but for that kind of project, you know, having to like have 29 different videos with like dialogue that changes, and I might want to rewrite it and all that sort of stuff, I just found the whole text-to-speech thing to be much easier. And also I thought, you know, he does sound sort of synthetic, but he still sounds realistic, and I thought that was kind of interesting. That's all. I just thought it was interesting. So I don't know, maybe when you watch like Chimney Alfonso in like 10 years, you're going to go back and be like, whoa, this guy sounds like a robot, but he's not. He also sounds sort of realistic. It's weird, like, but I don't know. I like the way he sounds. Yeah, Russian language is, it's not
Acrylic.
It's acrylic paint.
Oh my god.
I said acrylic, right? It's acrylic.
Cyrillic.
Cyrillic.
Not acrylic. Dude.
Who is behind you? That's Carolina.
Oh.
She just exists.
That's Carolina.
You guys don't know this maybe, but she helps me a lot with the animations. Some people may not know.
I write the brilliant dialogue like I'm feeling fresh.
Did you write that, or was that me?
That was me.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, you always come up with these long diatribes, and I summarize them into something much better.
Carolina usually has a good idea, and I just steal it, and then say that I made it.
That's really the truth. And you sit there and act like you made everything.
Narrow, it's my birthday, and seeing you live stream one of my favorite artists is such a lovely treat. Hey, your love and hard work has undoubtedly made the world a better place. If only mine. Cheers from Kentucky. I think it's Kentucky, right? Nero, hey, thank you, man.
Acrylic.
Thank you very much for the comment in the super chat. I hope you have a happy birthday. Thank you. What's your favorite animation by Pilot Red Sun? The one that made me laugh the most was the oatmeal one, yeah.
Quaker Oats.
The Quaker Oats one, because like he drew him, and then like at some point in the music, his face just gets redrawn, and there's like no reason for it. It's hilarious. And then when he says something, he just scrunches up, and then like the music will like make a ding sound or something, and he'll like his face will go back to normal. So that's probably the one I enjoy the most. By the way, he's made a new animation that I completely missed. It's on the Adult Swim YouTube channel though.
Yeah, it's about running around.
It's like running. He's like running with his kid out in the. So if you guys missed it, you should check it out. Cause I didn't know it existed until like the other 2 days ago.
Clicked on it by accident.
Can't wait for. Hey, thank you guys for the comments there. Do you accept music submissions? I don't really accept music submissions because, I mean, unless you make something that's like that, like I can't. I don't know. Sometimes I license music, but it's very rare, and I just prefer to keep
Maybe
my music
for a meme. That's about it, though.
Yeah, because
show music is too like thematic and on point to be anyone else's music.
Yeah, I mean, if you want, you can send me your music and I can take a listen to it. You never know, but and my email is in the about page description if you go to the about page on my channel. So, how do both of you develop stories? Do you usually start with characters or plot? Rayan?
We just shout about them at breakfast time until something happens.
Well, for me though, I mean, when it's like interface, I actually don't start with the. I usually start by making the music first, and that kind of helps me figure out where I want to go with the story, which probably is a bit backwards way of doing things, but that's how I do it. Zigo Kubasi, hey, thank you for that comment there. I'm waiting in my interesting and existential Russia for a new episode of The Interface because the plot overlaps with the realities of our country.
What, you guys got like ghosts spilling out of buildings and shit?
I'm working on it. It's coming out soon. I'm hoping the first week of March. So, hey, FB3 Network, thank you for the comment there. What is your favorite Pokemon?
Yeah, Justin.
Oh, it's Diglett. Because there's 3 of them for some reason.
That's Doug Trio, but
Doug Trio.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
He evolves into 3 heads.
I like how he just has 3 of them, and they consider it one. Like, you guys ever see that picture where he's like...
Yeah, the gay lord one.
He's like this. And then, like, underneath the ground, he's like...
There's just men hugging
just like
each other.
3 guys hugging each other. But what if they're actually... What if they're actually, like, something like this? And then they all combine. And then there's, like, a little tiny one down here. But he's sad because... he's under the ground and no one gets to see him.
Oh no!
You would never know.
Oh no!
Yeah.
You know there's a new Doug Trio that has hair? Type in...
Doug.
There you go.
Oh, what?
Look, they made it 3.
Hold on, let me just... Okay, I'm going to show you guys this.
Really important stuff right now.
Caroline told me that the new Doug Trio had... Look at this one, just says Y. I haven't really watched Pokemon since I was a teenager, so like 15 years ago. But this is what I remember from being a kid.
Why don't you just find the picture you're talking about?
Oh, Doug Trio Underground, maybe? Oh, yeah. Yeah, look at that.
So defensive.
That's so funny.
There's the original down there.
Oh my god.
Ew, look at their nipples.
Okay.
Why do they have pants?
Alright.
I like your version better, although it's sad.
Aesthetic Capybara, do you use any analog gear in your music, like analog synth or sequencers, or is it all digital? Right now, it's pretty much all digital. I used to use I used to like run things into a VCR, and then run it back out, and then like do it multiple times and then layer them. That kind of gave it an interesting effect. The Hydra synth I have is a digital synthesizer, so there's no analog components there. I guess the only step that's analog is when I get them mastered at this place. They use an entirely analog mastering workflow, but that's just how it is. Do you have all the story planned out? Mr. Epic, I didn't have it planned out when I was making previous episodes, like episode 1 to 12 or whatever, but I don't know how it worked. I kind of worked backwards and I was able to connect it all together. At this point, though, I do have everything written or worked out story-wise for the next 2 episodes, which will be the end, so... I mean, it'd be pretty bad if I didn't know the ending by now, but it takes some time to think about it.
Do you want brown?
Okay. Yes, please. Carolina just calls coffee brown, in case you're wondering. So. Have you tried the AdLib tracker? No, what is... I don't know what that is. That looks interesting. It's like a music plugin. He morphs into a car. Yeah. Well, my justification for him morphing into vehicles and non-alive objects is basically that sometime in his past he absorbed information from a person who worked on a car, or like an engineer, or someone who had intimate knowledge of how that particular vehicle was. So you can assume that Mischief absorbed a bus engineer or mechanic, someone who, maybe it could be the same guy who knew the interior workings of a Challenger. Because as you can see, like when he absorbs the frog, he was able to understand it, and then he wanted to be one because that's just he's like can't wait to be a frog because he just got like new information. So that's kind of my that's how he works, I guess. Been calling coffee the brown ever since I watched DS9. What's DS9? Deep Space Nine? Do they call coffee brown? In Star Trek? They don't call it brown, do they? I have a Mischief plushie sitting on my guitar cabinet. Hey, Croak, thank you for that. I appreciate that. Okay, so let's see here. I have to draw a city over here. and I don't really know how it's gonna look yet, so this might just look kind of dumb. But we'll see how it looks. It's supposed to look kind of like surrealist. So I'm just gonna kind of freehand a city here, and then change it up as time goes. Maybe I'll get rid of the background here so I can just see it better. How was it working on the new EP? Yeah, so the new EP, I got this Hydrosynth because before I was using just Logic with a MIDI keyboard, and the MIDI keyboard I was using was the first generation SL61, and all the drivers and stuff were like not working for it and stuff. It was really kind of a frustrating experience. So I wanted to get another MIDI keyboard, but then I thought, well, maybe I'll get a synth that can double as a MIDI keyboard. And the Hydrosynth has polyphonic aftertouch, which is something I was looking for. And so I got that, and I pretty much love the way the sound of this thing is. And I've already made like 6 or so of my own patches, which I've used in the new EP. And I just found that using the synth was like, it made the music just sound so much more like I'm playing some sort of real instrument, because when I'm pressing down on the keys, there's like aftertouch sounds that you can program basically to either it can pitch shift or bend or increase the oscillator or whatever, or you can modulate it so many different ways. And it's polyphonic, so it's per key, not just all of them at once. And it really makes the sound very makes it sound very like organic, and I really love the way it sounds. One thing I want to do though is try to incorporate like real drums into my music in the future too. And I've been practicing at a drum studio down the street to play drums, so maybe in the future that might be a thing too. Just popped in to say hello. Jade Ziens. Thank you for the. Hey, look at that little worm. It looks like mischief. Thank you for the comment there. The AdLib tracker is a kind of sequencer for the Yamaha OP1 chip, or OPL chip, I'm not sure. It's a FM synthesis chip used in AdLib sound cards. Okay, I'll check it out then, because that sounds kind of pretty interesting. Do you own any drums? No, I don't, because whenever I practice once a week, and then my class is also once a week, so I go twice a week. I don't have my own drums because there's no space in here. Like, if you guys could see my apartment, it's like, this is it. like there's another room over there with the television, and then like this is, I don't know if you can see anything at all, but it's very small, and there's like boxes behind me. And also it would just like drive my neighbors crazy, so I don't have my own drums. But maybe one day if I ever move into a different location with like soundproofing or something. How do you vaguely do the mischief voice, layering pitch shifted tracks with certain tonal? Well, I act out his voice in the way that I do it, and it's just basically pitch shifted down 12 decibels. Not 12 decibels, 1 octave. And then I put a lot of compression on it and make sure that it's the lows are, there's a low or a high pass, and I cut off all the excess low end, and I increase the high end so it sounds more natural, I guess, and less like just like it's been pitch shifted. And that's about it, really. There's nothing too complicated about his voice, but it does still sort of sound like me, like, but I talk like this. Like I talk like this when I do his voice. So if someone were to do the exact same thing, just pitch shifting it, wouldn't exactly sound the same. It would sound like them pitch shifted. All these clouds are actually coming out of this building. Been wondering what's the deal with Mischief shown as the clown Percy, but also being aboard the ship during the Philadelphia experiment. Does Percy really exist, or was it some sort of metaphoric part? So here's the thing. Before 1943 in the web series, there was no monsters that are visible and that sort of thing. And they were just like ghost stories and myths, and that's how, like what it is now, basically, in our world, right? So Mischief was a person that existed before, and it was 1943. He had colors and stuff because he was a clown at the place that lived in Dreamland. But in much the same way, there's like occult activity, or there was occult activity, whatever, back then. And kind of like, you know, how in some religions, people think that, well, they believe that there's mystical spirits and that sort of thing. Mischief would have actually existed back then too, even though he wasn't a physical pink worm guy. He just wasn't visible. So that's the idea behind that. The clown, Mischief, the clown Percy, was one of Mischief's victims before 1943, and so also before he was a physical manifestation of himself. And this is back before Mischief was even looking like a pink worm guy. And so he acquired his aesthetic, the pink stuff, from Percy as one of his prior victims, but it was before he was visible. Does that make any sense? Another thing is, so yeah, Percy, he died in the fire of Dreamland, and that was it. He disappeared, just like that, because he didn't transform into a Mischief right away, or he didn't transform into some other monster, because this was all before 1943. And in 1943, the Philadelphia experiment is what made all that stuff visible. And if you were to look at where the boat, it reappeared in the harbor of New York City. Dreamland was just down the river, basically, down the coastline. So assumingly, Mischief was in sort of like hibernation state, or he was within the area and he was attracted to this increase of energy, and from being revealed by the Philadelphia experiment, suddenly he was revealed. And so that is how he was both Percy and and you got to understand that Mischief himself is kind of like an amalgamation of all the people he has previously absorbed. So personality traits from Percy are included in Mischief, and Mischief has the personality traits of other individuals as well that are all kind of combined. I don't really explain stuff about interface, but I feel like that's something I can explain because it's kind of confusing, and I don't know, I just feel like that maybe should be clarified a bit, because the way I made it in the series, it's definitely not like self-explanatory. It's more like there's clues there, but maybe the people won't figure it out, you know. Sappy Stevens, yo, Umami, just got my merch recently. Hey, thank you, Sappy Stevens. I really appreciate that. I like how it's Alex in the chat is just saying gulab jamun.
Gulab jamun.
Hey, I'm not gonna be able to pronounce your name. Andre Lisovitsky. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. That lore would make an awesome video. Well, here's the thing. I mean, it's how do I make a video explaining that? It's difficult, you know, because that's kind of like a conceptual idea, and that's why I have sort of kind of left it up for interpretation too, because it's such a it's like if I were to just like have an episode where that's all that's explained, it would be very long, and I don't know, it takes away from the actual story of interface too. So that's another thing. That's why I kind of left it in the background as like some sort of lore, I guess, and not so much of a main plot point. I'm going to have more towers and stuff too. They're going to be further back, but there's going to be on a different layer, so that when I do the parallax, they're going to look like they slightly move a bit differently in relation to this city. Quentin Tarantino. You could say that. Yes, you could. That's a good interpretation. Hey, Nux. Schiller. Are we hopefully gonna see any spin-offs of Interface? Hopefully something like 20. Like 20. Maslin Bruner. I think that would be cool to do. I think I'll probably do stuff like that too. They wouldn't be like necessarily part of the series, but they might just be like kind of like bonus videos that kind of show a scene. I like that idea. Yeah. Do you ever take days where you don't animate at all, or do you put in some time every day? Used mop. I try to put time into it every day, but it's impossible. Yesterday, I was not feeling in the mood at all to do anything, so I just played video games. But I went for a walk and then played video games.
And you took a nap.
And I took a nap. I've been working on my web series a lot more consistently as I'm getting towards the end of Interface, because I have some stuff planned later this year I want to do, but usually I try to get at least one thing done a day, even if it's just like one drawing, like one shot, because that way I feel like I'm still progressing, even if I just did a really small amount of things, because it's like, it's very daunting to have such a task in front of you to do such a big episode or whatever. But if you do just one thing a day, and if it's a small thing, they add up and then it becomes less daunting. And basically, before you know it, you have an episode. So, but there's definitely times when I'm not in the mood and you just can't do anything at all. And I think that's normal, I mean, really, I should be taking 2 days off a week, but it's hard for me to do that right now because, well, for many reasons, but the coronavirus in Montreal has prevented everything from being open, so I can't really go anywhere anyways. So I might as well use my time now to animate while everything's still shut down. This layer is going to be further back and smaller. Actually, I don't know about that. I should fill in the colors of this building, maybe. Pre-ordered solutions and problems vinyl. Super psyched. Andre, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm psyched about it too. They're talking to the guys today about it, getting it made and stuff, getting all the details. They're going to be really nice. The jackets are going to be really nice. And I want it, like, whenever I make vinyls, I try to like upgrade the jackets and stuff to be like better than just the default, because I feel like if you're going to spend that amount of money on something, it should at least feel like something substantial, I guess. And I have a few vinyls, and The jackets are just like whatever. But these ones are gonna be really cool. Looking forward to. Once I have like some prototypes, I'm gonna have like photos and stuff up so you guys can see them. But it's gonna take a while to get these things made. Interloper. What games do I play? I've been playing Hunt Showdown a lot, and though I'm getting kind of tired of it because I've been playing it for like 2 years. And that's pretty much it, really. I played Death Stranding. I'm almost finished it. I don't play that many video games anymore. Like I used to play them a lot, but ever since I started animating, I just have a lot. I've just been animating more, and that's all. Okay, I'm gonna put these. I don't know what that is. It's like a power plant or some sort. I wish there was like a gap fill. Like here's one of the reasons why grease pencil's better than Photoshop is because they got like tools like gap fill so that like when there's little gaps there, you don't have to color them in like that. You can just like it knows, you know. It knows where the gap is. Hey, why are Mr. Greeting's eyes black? Because we see him on the ship when he was younger and he has visible eyes, but after that his eyes are black. Is there a reason for this? There is a reason. It's not really like there's a strong reason for it. It's a stylistic choice. It makes him look a little bit more sinister. And maybe it shows that when he was young, he didn't quite figure out exactly what he wanted to do. He wasn't what he was yet. And so his development of Greetings Robotics, he has progressively become more reclusive, and his eyes became darker over time. And it's not like it's just literally just black. It's just because the way the lighting is, that you can't really see his eyes. It makes him look a little bit less trustworthy when you can't see someone's eyes. Thank you, Carolina. Yeah. Set little objectives every day and accept that some days I won't be able to meet those goals because of life and brainworms. Yeah. Whenever I want to get inspired, I watch Interface. Hey, well, damn it, Jay. Thank you for that. It's really nice to hear. Hunt Showdown. Here's the reason why I like that game. Hunt Showdown is it's like slow paced, and I don't think there's like any other game right now that's like that. I don't know. It's just like an old style kind of Western, but there's zombies and stuff in it. But it's not. I really wouldn't consider it a zombie game. I feel like it's more like a. It's like a multiplayer first-person shooter, but the way they went about doing it is, I feel, it's kind of novel. So, I just played it. It was at like a free weekend a long time ago. I was like, "What's this?" And I tried it, and I was like, "This is really good." Because I don't usually play multiplayer games. And I remember when I was like playing it, I was like, oh man, I have to like partner up with people and like talk to them and stuff on the mic, and I got really self-conscious. like strangers. It's still kind of because it's a mixed bag. You never know who you might get. You might get like some weirdo, right? But most of the people are pretty cool on there. So yeah,
Really?
and I made some friends playing that game too. So yeah.
Are they really?
Okay, let's see here. There's my buildings. That's kind of cool looking. Is that a factory? It's a factory. Probably it's like a power plant of some sort for this episode. It's this episode. There's I don't explain what happens in the episode, but it's probably a power plant of some sort. Yeah. What software do I use? Just Wacom, or just check out the description because I put all the links of the tools that I use down there at the bottom. Hey, Pyro Wolf, I appreciate the comment. Thank you for that. I picked up the Mischief Plus. Really brings the office together. Oh, thank you, man. In what way must I pronounce your name? I've been calling it Umami. Or Umami. I think I've come and used it interchangeably. I actually had to look it up when I first started. I still don't remember after all this time, so I remember when I did and I hired someone to do the voice recording for Umami. It's Umami. It's Umami. That's how it is. Yeah. Okay, so there's that. Now I'm gonna put my sky in. Master Q, this is the second last episode. Not the, I mean, it's not the finale, but it's going to be like 10 minutes long. So I wouldn't really, like the actual 24th episode will not be 10 minutes long. It might be like 5 or 6 minutes long. But this one's going to be quite long and epic. Have you ever heard of FAUG? Sorry, man, I haven't. Okay, so my building is back there. I can merge these two. And I should probably label these. Okay. There. And I'm gonna get rid of the first. There. Okay, that's better. That's my shot. Now I'm gonna move everything up, including the background. There. Okay, so that's nice. Now in the foreground, I'm gonna have some elements. But I'll probably put them on a separate file because they're going to be moving faster and they're going to go, I have to make them. Basically, you'll see in After Effects later when I'm done. Terminology, I've been having a rough couple of days. Hope you're feeling better there. Hope you feel better soon. Do you like pineapples, Umami? Yeah, I think they're pretty good. I like getting them in the summer. Toes isn't mad, thank you. Do you stream on Twitch as well? I used to. I stopped doing it because I had to like stream twice and it was screwing up the chat. I'd have to read both chats and it would get confusing, and I just stopped doing it because it just simplifies things to be on YouTube. I would only get a couple people on Twitch anyway, but I don't know. Maybe one day I'll start doing it again. I just want to take a break from that. You seem to be a fan of IDM, judging by your linked playlist, but how do you feel about ambient? There's this kind of music called wave pool. I've been kind of interested. I like that, the way it sounds. I don't really listen to like pure ambient music though, like music without any sort of beat or anything. I stopped kind of updating my playlist on YouTube because I've switched over to Spotify, but maybe I can share my playlist with you.
I think you can share a Spotify playlist if you make it public.
Yeah?
Yeah.
How do you make it public? Edit details, maybe.
Just try to share it.
I'll just share it. I don't know if you guys like. I like this kind of. This is the music I've been listening to recently. If you go to the top of the list, I don't know. Now I'm getting like really into classical music, so I don't know. It just kind of goes into different, kind of go in like different modes throughout the year, I guess.
Thank God you're over your weird like Celtic bagpipe harpsichord phase.
Carolina doesn't like Irish and Scottish music, but as I grew up in Nova Scotia, I would like hear a lot of it, and I kind of like gotten used to it, and I like sort of like it, like bagpipe, like fiddle music, and there's not too much of that on there, but I think there might be some. Anyway, okay, so this is the. I should probably hold on. Should save this as foreground. Or just holes. This I'm gonna be drawing some like kind of like a canyon almost in the foreground here. Because otherwise, why would the train have to drive all the way around to get to this place, right? Well, there's a big canyon in the way. That's why. So What's so funny?
I don't know, the way you explained that was so like grandfatherly.
So I'll have a canyon ridge over here, maybe some like canyon pillars. This should just make the shot look a little bit more interesting when you... Well, these pillars should be on a separate layer because they're going to be moving at a different speed because of the parallax, right? So I'm just actually just going to draw it one at a time here. Basically, I just got to draw the edge of the canyon cliff. I really enjoy use of aliased lines. Is there any reason for it though? You mean like non-aliased lines? I guess what you're saying. There's a few reasons. Well, I don't know. When I first started the channel, I was really inspired by Pilot Red Sun, so he has those pixelated animations. But then I noticed that like if I'm drawing like with the brush tool, for instance, let's make a new layer here, and the brush tool has like smooth edges and stuff, right? If I were to like do this and then fill it, you get like issues basically. Like you can see the issue here where it doesn't fill it all because of the aliasing, right? And so I have to do something like set the tolerance to like 50 or something, you know, and it's like still not perfect, right? So then you get to 100 and then still not perfect. Like obviously I could fix that by coloring underneath it, you know? But I don't know. I just thought that like if I just keep everything pixelated, it actually makes things just easier for me. And it kind of has a cool aesthetic to it. So that's all. And I can upscale it using nearest neighbor to 4K so that it plays back on a television properly and doesn't really lose its pixeliness, you know? Umami, what's your favorite soda brand? I kind of like root beer, but I don't. It's like there's a lot of sugar in it, so I don't really drink it anymore. You know, like Jones Soda, they make like root beer flavored one. It's like really good, but otherwise I just drink Coke. Blank face, thanks for hanging out. See you next time. How long have I been doing this for? Drawing an animation, I mean. Drawing I've been doing for a long time, like since I was a kid, basically. Animation is another story, though. I mean, the animation for this YouTube channel I only did starting 3 years ago, so a big learning curve. Judging by your Spotify, I see you enjoy The Crown. Great show. Maybe I might have to check out the show because I actually haven't watched the show at all. But the soundtrack I noticed was amazing, so maybe that's a sign that it's a really good show. Well, I mean, you're saying it is too. I mean, I wasn't really interested in watching a show about the Queen because I don't know. I just personally don't find it that interesting. But the soundtrack is so good that I might have to check it out now. So. Maybe can you provide some tips for animation and drawing? Well, I mean, that's kind of a broad question.
Draw more.
You just have to just do it, really. I mean, if you can see the progress I've made on my own channel from the first video I've made to what I'm doing now, there's a big increase in quality. And just like using the same method, though, there's still an increase in quality. Like, the only way that I really improved was to just be animating so often. You just get better at it over time. I don't really have any tips, you know, other than you have to find your own style, I guess, what you think works for you. And try to draw things, well, if I were to give you one tip, it would just be like, try to learn perspective and draw things in perspective. Don't draw flat. I mean, it's kind of ironic me saying that while I'm drawing a basically flat drawing here, but it's because it's a parallax shot that's going to have a foreground to it. But what I'm saying is like you know how like Family Guy will have the main scene take place in the living room and it's like a flat, everyone's like perfectly aligned and they get the couch there and it's like watching a sitcom almost. I think try to like draw things more in perspective with different angles. That's what's more interesting. Like if you look at how King of the Hill, they have some scenes that are flat, like when they're standing in front of the fence there drinking their beer and stuff. But there's other scenes like where they're inside, you know, the kitchen, whatever. And it's more like, especially the earlier episodes, they just seem to have more of a unique perspectives. That's true of The Simpsons too, actually. Early Simpsons episodes, like season 1 to 10, whatever, were just, you would watch how many different angles they have. They have things, crazy angles, top-down view, like perspective, like crazy fisheye lens sort of stuff. They don't do any of that stuff anymore. So I feel like animation's gotten really cheap recently, and they just, you know. So just try to incorporate as much perspective as possible. It makes your drawings look a little bit more interesting. And of course, it's more difficult to draw in perspective. For instance, there's one shot here. I had to draw this guy. Well, this is Henrik, but I used a 3D model to kind of get the perspective of his body, and I drew on top of it so that I knew, like, okay, his hand is kind of a little bit larger because it's closer towards the camera. The camera's looking up, but you see how the camera is very low in this shot, right? And the train has a nice vanishing point down here in the distance. So that's not the final shot, but and here's another one. You know, from episode 22, the interior of the lighthouse, the top view, like that's a crazy angle, all the crazy. But what helped me was to make a 3D model of the lighthouse and then draw. Well, Carolina actually drew over it for me, and so it kind of it provides a guide to make cool perspectives. What's that?
I drew it.
Yeah, Carolina drew. I just said that. Yeah. So that's my advice.
Definitely a shortcut.
Do you like the animations by Miles and Drew Langlois? I don't know Miles, but I know Drew Langlois. And I get asked that question almost every time I stream. But yes, I do definitely like his stuff for sure. Only 3 years and you created Paste, the pinnacle of animation.
Crust.
Do you do any non-pixelated artworks nowadays?
I mean, you used to paint, but your painting process is getting mad without clothes on, so that's why that doesn't get streamed.
I used to do a lot more painting, but like I don't really do it anymore because there's no space in my apartment really, and it's basically me getting mad at the paintbrush without my clothes on. Like I don't put my pants on because I don't want to get paint on my clothes and stuff. Like I can show you some of my old
Quite
paintings.
the show. You should stream it sometime.
This is one painting I did. I did this for my mom.
Your mom.
I think it was Mother's Day or something. I forget.
That screams your mom.
I don't usually make like big paintings for Mother's Day, but it was like a
Why
special
don't you
thing.
show them the other painting you gave your mom?
Oh, I will. Okay.
Stupid baby.
This is a painting I did of a man who huffed paint, and the paint that I used around his mouth is actually like metallic. So if you were to like look at it from a different angles, his mouth shimmers. This is a painting I did 2016, just kind of like an abstract landscape, I guess. The frame is very fancy. I got that in the I got that at a thrift store. But the person who bought this painting didn't want the frame, so I just sent the painting to him without it, and I still have the frame. This is an old painting I did of I don't know, just like muscular study of some guy.
Meat man.
Meat man. This is a shapes painting I did that kind of got a little bit wonky, and I'm not crazy about it, but it's pretty big. It's on my wall over there. This is a cool painting. I like just an abstract circle thing that sold that one a while ago, and this is more abstract stuff I did. This is 2015. This is like all before I started animating on YouTube. This was a commission I did. My mom's friends live in the United States, so they wanted me to do a painting. So it's kind of an abstract, colorful. This one's just like a bars, you know. It's like a abstract bars and colors. This one's acrylic, kind of figurative abstract. I sold this one recently, actually. So I think it's in Toronto now. That's. Oh yeah.
Where's the baby?
There's another painting I gave my mom. I'll show you. It's an old one.
Really small and horrifying.
It's this one.
And your mom's like, thanks, Justin.
My mom was like, thanks, Justin.
And then it went in your room.
And then she
you
like
can't
put
see
it in my old room that I used. But she likes the new one a lot more. This one's in the hallway of the house.
Yeah.
So.
Difference in reaction. Thanks, Justin. And then it goes in a corner where no one can find it. Don't paint a boarding penis for your mom. That's too much for you sometimes.
Do you have any other comics you've made in the past that you want to turn into an animation? I didn't really have made that many comics, so not really. I can show you maybe. Some of the comics I made were not really good, so I don't think I would turn them into animations. For instance, I got one where a guy like grabs his lower intestines and runs away with it. So I don't know, like I feel like that's just weird and gruesome. I mean, like, let's see if I can find it for
How
you
is
guys.
that any different from the Sonic video?
That's true.
You just find it funny. It turned people into ground beef for some reason.
Yes, that's hilarious. I don't even know where I saved these pictures, so maybe if I type in the word comic on my computer. Comics? Here we go. God, what is this? That's not it. Okay, that's not good. That's not it. Is this it? Oh yeah. Yeah, I'll show you. Okay, so here it is. I don't know what I was doing. This was 2009, like 11 years ago. This is some guy hanging outside of a building. And then he gets approached by someone who looks exactly like him. And I guess there's like some sort of standoff, like this guy's insulted because he's dressed exactly the same. And then he punches him into with his stomach, grabs his intestines, and then runs away with it.
Yeah, how's that different from the Sonic animation?
Oh, I don't know, but you can see how at least the coloring choices have kind of carried over in my. Oh yeah, I already showed this one. I think I posted this on the community page recently. It's just Barry and Hands. Just Barry just stole his chicken and ate it. That's all. That's the comic. It's not really super good. Yeah. Do you sell prints, Marcelo Ursic? Actually, I'm working on that right now to get my artwork onto like archival, not archival, but like thick, nice matte paper prints. And so I will be releasing that. Like I'm redesigning my whole my March website, and it's going to have stuff like that, prints. And it will be available probably when episode 23 comes out. I'm going to release them at the same time. So I will have some prints available. Yeah. Thankfully, I took like super high resolution photos of all my artwork with flat lighting. So
You did okay.
I did okay. Some of the older ones are not that high resolution, but
Some of them have bad lighting.
yeah, but the more recent ones do have good lighting. So, do you always work with so many distractions? You mean like what, like the chat and stuff? Like, no, usually I don't. I'm just drawing by myself. But I wanted to talk with you guys. Are you able to do animation and art for a living? Well, I am now, thanks to you guys, basically. I've been able to just kind of work on this without having to worry about working. But when I started the channel, I was still freelancing a lot for video editing, video editing jobs and that sort of thing. I remember one time I had to animate Cat 5 cables like in 3D motion, and I was just like hating it very much because I was like, like, why do I have to do this? Like Cat 5 cable is like really yeah, so that's I used to do a lot more freelance. I basically just work on my web series now. I have to now in order to make this like a loopable canyon, I have to offset it. Actually, I did a pretty good job there. But basically, see right here where it like messes up right here? I just have to clean it up. There. So now the canyon will loop. When I put it in After Effects, it will kind of like move like this. Who's your favorite audience member? You guys, I can't choose.
Wow. Like 3,000 people.
Any particular Hat Mouse, hey, thanks for the comment there. Nice to see you here. Any artistic movements you particularly dislike?
Yes.
I don't really like fauvism. I just think it's kind of smoochy. And I don't really like how the
I
colors...
don't get what their idea is supposed to be.
I don't like fauvism.
They always put it next to like expressionism or like impressionism and be like, see? It fits. And it's like, but why?
Carolina really doesn't like fauvism.
Don't get me started.
I think there's...
hate Renoir.
She doesn't like Renoir, but...
Very specifically, I hate him.
Some fauvism is okay, in my opinion. Depends.
No.
Fauvism? I can show you what fauvism is. It's didn't it come after expressionism?
It's some awkward in between, like, afterbirth of art.
It's like in between impressionism and expressionism. And the reason why I'm not crazy about it is I feel like it's the saturation of the colors is just too much. And it kind of, I don't really like, it's just not, I don't know, I can't really explain it. I just don't like it. So that's like, it's like one of those, the art movements, right? And then there's impressionism, which is, it gives you an impression of the image by painting things more like, you paint the light and stuff. And I just feel that impressionism is a little bit more, I don't know, just pleasing.
Well, actual impressionism is super technical.
I feel like fauvism is like they took, like, it's like when they discovered HDR photography and they just like took the sliders for the saturation and just like cranked it to maximum.
Yeah, that's pretty much the painting equivalent of that.
That's, I'm not crazy about it.
Look, we can be expressive and we can use the most saturated color.
Yeah.
And it's just, I don't know.
Then there's constructivism, art, and this is kind of like avant-garde, like Russian constructivism. This is kind of like before things got really communist, and then I think this kind of artwork started being put in there with like degenerate art, didn't it? I forget the history of it, but like they didn't like it because it wasn't formalist enough. And then like Stalin, I think he didn't like it or something like that. I forget how the history. I did a report on this a long time ago, but I kind of like how I just like the abstract nature of the shapes and that sort of thing. That's all. And Kandinsky is one of my favorite artists too. Like yeah, obviously you can see the influence of the shapes and stuff in interface because I use a lot of this sort of aesthetic. And then there was the Memphis art movement in the 80s, which is like Pee-wee's Playhouse on steroids. Well, I guess Pee-wee's Playhouse. It's basically the 80s aesthetic, which is like really weird colors and black and white shapes, and it was like intentionally ugly, but I feel like it's coming back. Like it's came back. Like people are making things with this style again, and I just think it's wacky. I don't know. I like it. Just think it's cool. That's all. You don't have to think too deep about this stuff. You know, it's like you either like it or you don't. You know, and that's about it, really.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Bowling floor aesthetic. It's like the bus seat fabric aesthetic. You know, the one that they use to cover up the stains.
No,
but
that's post Memphis.
Post Memphis.
Because original Memphis is like happy, right? But post Memphis is like the 90s when things just start looking really worn out and they just put it everywhere and it's like Memphis but with sad colors and it's on everything.
Yeah.
Because the bus seat ones would be like navy blue and like industrial green and just like other just drab colors and get all dirty and yeah. I just made that up. That's not an art movement.
Okay, doing this part in After Effects is going to be kind of technical, so I might be a little bit. Yeah, the Nazis put almost all explicitly modern movements in the degenerate category. And they pretty much only allowed like the a traditional kind of academic painting style.
I specifically liked Greek and Roman art because of the ideals that it presented.
Yeah.
About body and like, you know, your heroism and like character and stuff like that.
You know what's interesting about them though is what they did was rather than just like taking them and burning them, they stored them in facilities, and they actually had.
So weird.
And then they had
like, why?
And then they had an art show. I remember they had an art show about the artwork they didn't like, called Degenerate Art, and they're like, "This is what you shouldn't do."
Why would you keep it around if you really want to censor this idea?
So that's
so bizarre.
Yeah, that's why fortunately at least some of it is still around and being discovered still to this day. They could have easily just fucking set a fire to all that stuff and been like, it's gone. But anyways, yeah, if you can read about that if you want, the Degenerate Art Show by the Nazis.
Recommendation. Coffee time with Umami. The Degenerate Art Show was created by Nazi Party.
Well, I mean, it's like this. Like it was like it was actually an interesting show, probably. And it wasn't, if you don't, you go in there and you're like, yeah, this stuff sucks, and then you're saying that, oh, this sucks, right? Secretly, you're kind of like enjoying to look at the artwork because it's like unique and modernist and different looking. But you can't appreciate it though because because the Nazis will look at you funny. Like,
they look at you funny.
This guy
disappear.
This guy is enjoying the art show a little too much.
No, man. What happens is they look at you funny. The next week you disappear, and your mom gets a notice from the hospital that you became sick. That's actually accurate.
Okay.
Never come back.
So I have to do another layer here with kind of like, I don't know if they should be like circles. Maybe it'll just be like cliffs or whatever. What coffee you drink? French press? Yeah, we use a French press. Yeah, actually, yeah. It's actually pretty easy to use a French press. There's two brands of coffee that we usually buy, and it's President's Choice.
The Great thing.
Great Arabica.
It's not Arabica. It's Colombian roast.
No, it's Arabica.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well, it's a Colombian Arabica.
Oh, there's a great Canadian coffee called Colombian Roast.
It's Colombian medium roast.
Medium roast, and then there's a Great Arabica or whatever it's called. President's. It's just cheap coffee, but
that was not President's Choice.
It's not.
No, that one is the King of Arabia.
Okay, well, those are the brands of coffee we drink.
You can get them at your Loblaws.
I don't know if you can get them in the United States,
store.
but you get them here.
We should be like really trying to drink fancy coffee, but I mean, it really just comes down to what kind of bean flavor you like and actually grinding it yourself so it's fresh, and you can pretty much buy any cheap coffee and it will taste good. As long as you buy the right roasted bean.
Yeah. I should probably put a bit of a shadow here on the side. Okay, so that's one. So the reason why I'm doing this is because, oops, these layers are going to move at different speeds, right? So this one's going to move differently. And actually, I should probably move it up a bit. Maybe it should be like up here. I'll just cheat this and stretch it out.
That's what I think anyways. I was gonna be like, no, you have to buy this premium coffee with this like $600 coffee machine.
All right, next I'm going to draw another one over here.
Tastes good because I spent more money on it.
Parlez-vous français? Oui. I can speak French. Hey.
But you can say it in English.
I prefer not to. I get a little bit. I get like a little bit self-conscious about it for some reason.
Do it.
I took French classes here because they offer them for free, basically. Well, they're not free, but it's like $80 a month or something, really cheap for like full-time classes in Quebec.
I think it's $80 for 4 months.
Okay, well.
Can't go wrong with that.
Yeah, I did that for a while. Now I can speak French.
People ask me to speak French on my stream and I just shut down. Just can't.
I think I'm drawing these all at the wrong kind of. I think I should probably move it up a bit more too. Okay. Have you tried OpenTunes? Have not tried it. Once I finish interface, I'm going to be more open to experimenting with different styles and programs. Like I said before, I just don't want to change what I got, anything right now, just to keep the consistency and just so it doesn't slow me down learning a new tool. Because I'm so close to the end, I'm just going to finish it the way it is. And but there's probably better software out there, and I might eventually switch over, like I said. Hey, I'll be right back, guys. I'm just gonna go to the bathroom. So, I'll see you in like 4 minutes. Okay, I'm back. Time to shit talk Umami. uh, good night, Kato. Thanks for hanging out. Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna eventually get all this stuff into After Effects, and it's gonna look really cool. Do you remember the last time you jumped in the air?
3 days ago?
3 days ago?
Probably. You're pretty hyper 3 days ago.
I don't know. Sometimes I have like moments of hyperactivity, and I like pick Caroline up and like throw her into the ceiling. I don't know. I don't remember the last time I jumped though.
You don't really jump, you just throw me into the air. Yeah, you were throwing snow boulders around.
Oh yeah, we went for a walk yesterday, and there was like big snow boulders everywhere. I was just like picking them up above my head, like Grug smashing them. It's pretty fun. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna start importing this stuff into After Effects, so it's not a big chore when I do it later. So this shot is, the foreground here is all in shadows. City distance smoke. Okay. So I'm going to turn this off for now. I'm going to get the files imported as a comp. Take all this stuff, paste it. Okay. Now, just do a quick test here. Foreground is here. How long does it take to make an episode of Interface? MT, it takes usually between a month and 2 months. Daniel Robinson, just want to say, when I was applying for my graphic design and animation degree, everyone had to recommend an animated show, and I chose Interface. Hey, that's cool, man.
Aww.
Thank you. When you were applying for your degree, what do you mean, like for university or? Ali X Safari, thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna get the city going now. The background. Start here. Oh, right. Oh, hold on. Let's see, the actual yellow ground. Okay, start with that. So it starts here and then it ends. Kind of like here. Okay. The city, well, I should copy and paste the position and apply it to all of them, and then I can just adjust the speed later. So now this is coming down like this, but actually the city now the background, these buildings back here are going to be like over here maybe, and then there. So now it looks like, see how they slowly go behind it? And the clouds. Paul Marciano, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that. How much of that 1 to 2 months is spent writing usually? The writing part is I do it like in my head consistently while I'm making the music, and then like I figure out what needs to happen. I don't necessarily write the dialogue. So I basically write all the action in my head, like what's going to happen in the shot or in the episode. And then the dialogue writing, I'll start by writing a script, and then every other day I'll look at the script again and rewrite it and rewrite it. And the script writing process usually goes for about 2 weeks, but I only usually spend maybe an hour or two per day on it, or maybe less, sometimes a lot less. So if that answers your question, I think. There's a rover landing on a planet tomorrow. Yeah, I forgot about that. That's an excellent thing to talk about. That's gonna be awesome. They got a new Mars rover called Perspiration, I think. And it like
Perspiration.
Isn't it called Perspiration?
Isn't it called like Perseverance or something? What the fuck?
It's called.
That means sweating. What the fuck? Russians speak acrylic.
All right, they should call it Perspiration. But it's gonna have like it's gonna extend when it lands. It's gonna extend the rover part lower while having a rocket booster on top, like a rocket booster blasting up while it extends the rover down, and then it's gonna release the rover, and then the rocket booster is gonna fly away. And apparently this one's going to have like 18 cameras or something, so there might be actually some footage of it happening. So it's going to be really cool.
Perspiration is what's going to be happening in the NASA headquarters when they're watching land. Okay.
It's called the Sweaty Rover.
Yeah.
It tried really hard.
Yeah. I'm trying so hard to land.
Well, I mean, the engineers at NASA are probably going to be sweating. They're going to be like, they're going to be. It's like what the 7 minutes of like perspiration or whatever it's called.
5 minutes of between the transmission and it already having landed where they won't know what's actually happening.
Yeah. So really, it is sweaty business. Yeah, it's Kirk's. Do you have a formal art education? Daniel Robinson, I went to art school, so that probably explains a lot of it. But also my father was a graphic designer, so I kind of had like an early start on that because even when I was like a kid, he would like teach me how to like what perspective was and like how to use colors and that sort of thing effectively. Yeah.
Trying to change the topic.
My command of the English language is not quite as strong. Exactly.
Your first language is not quite as strong.
Okay. What's I doing here? I'm just confused again. I feel like the buildings need to be a little bit more.
Your stream okay? It looks like something happened.
It says excellent connection.
Yeah, but your graph is like 0. What's going on there?
Oh no. Oh no, it's just YouTube. I feel like I'm messing something up here. There we go. And then change the anchor point. There, that's a little better. Okay, now my clouds. Anchor point. Now the clouds. Next position. Maybe if I had the clouds move, that might be good. I'm not sure. I feel like there's something wrong here. Oh, I know what's wrong. Okay. Well, I'll fix it later, but basically, let's undo that. Keep my clouds. And there's a black cloud. This one will move slightly different speed. Like that. I have to draw more of the cloud there later. Okay, and then my background layer. The sky. I'm going to flip this 100. So it ends up looking like this. In the last frame, and on the first frame, it's going to be like this. It moves slower than the foreground, but maybe that's a little too slow. Okay, so I got that part done. Now I can also import the holes, which go here, but disable holes. What do you think is the hardest part of making each episode, Lewis? I think the hardest part is making sure that the episode makes sense and it doesn't contradict anything in previous episodes. And there might be some parts where it feels like it contradicts itself, but at least in my mind, I figured out a way that it doesn't, at least. That would be the hardest part. And also, I guess it's to keep things interesting, moving the story along without having too much exposition and showing things rather than telling them. I find that to be difficult. But sometimes I feel like I don't tell things enough. And it's very, you know, it's hard to understand. It makes things hard to understand, basically. Sheba Side, hey, Messafan, I was wondering, how do you feel about people getting tattoos of your artwork? I've been wanting a tattoo of Froggy Mischief forever, and I want to do it without approval. Hey, Sheba Side, if you want to do that, you can go right ahead. You don't, yeah, you can do that for sure.
Sure, body.
Yeah, I guess actually every time someone wants a tattoo, they ask me. I think it's like getting someone's artwork tattooed on, but I'm totally okay with it. So go ahead.
As long as we get to see it later.
Yeah.
Not like on your butt or something. You can't put it up.
JD. Okay, hold on. There's some. I need to do something here. JD, I gotta go deliver pizzas. Here's half a gram. Also, you might want to see Sheba's side question. Sheba's side question? Hey, JD, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate that very much. Oh, Sheba's side right there. Oh, okay, I see it right there. Silly question, but do you think you can pronounce my username? Geuthase? AP? Geuthase? Geuthase? What?
It's gooey.
Gooey?
Yeah.
How do you know that?
Because I don't know how to say his username either.
What? Okay. It's gooey AP. It's yeah, I don't know. Maybe you guys having like issues with it. Seems to be like delayed. The stream is like delayed. Like the longer I stream, the more delayed the stream is.
The YouTube is clogged.
YouTube's pipes are clogged. So you guys are probably, I'm saying this now, but you're probably going to hear it like 5 minutes after I said it. Okay, let me just focus on this, getting this shot done here. So I need to expand it out more. Probably another 4,000 pixels. Change the position. That's probably too much though. Um, hey everyone, hey. What's up, Umami and Monster CC? Are the vinyls sold out yet? Need to save up for one. You mean the new ones? No, they're not even close to being sold out, so don't worry about that. They're pre-orders too, so I don't like. I can increase the number. Like basically, I could just tell the factory to make more or whatever. But they're not going to sell that anytime soon. Probably not even within a year. So I have to make them in a large quantity for the cost of the individual vinyls to go down. Like if I just made like 100 of them, it'd be extremely expensive per vinyl. So I have to make like 500, and so I'm probably not going to sell 500 of them anytime soon. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. But they're going to be, yeah, they're going to be awesome. I'm excited about them for sure. All right, so I got that part done. Now I'm going to get the next part in here, which is the closer holes. I might have to draw more of these because I just only drew 4 of them, but let's just see. Get rid of the, for some reason, the background imports, unless I delete the, okay. There, okay, now, repeat. Oops, wrong one. And expand right, probably 3,000. Wow, 6,000. Oh shit, that's sorry. I'm confusing myself again. Oh no, that's fine. Okay. Position. Now these have to move like this. See, I need them to repeat. Oh, I'll go further. There, see now they're moving the right speed approximately. And probably move them down a bit. I'll use the anchor tool. Like that. Okay, so once I fix my cloud later, that's going to be that. Then I put my foreground in, and well, this is also not right, but basically what the shot's going to look like is it's going to look something like this. You know what? Maybe I don't even have to fix the cloud because you can't even see that part of the cloud in this shot. I don't have to. I like doing parallax shots. It's kind of cool. But I feel like this needs to be up here more, and these need to be up a bit more too. And I'm going to finesse it a lot too, a lot more. I might even put one layer down in the foreground here to make it look like parts of it come out. So I'll do another layer. So this will be more like the edge of the train. I mean the where the train is, right? So I'm not sure if this is going to look very good, but we'll see. I think it's more important. Well, let's just see how it looks when I import it. This will need to repeat as well. The speed at which this one will have to move is much faster too. Much faster. But see, if it's moving so fast it looks a little repetitive, I might have to draw more. Let's see here. I see that. That's kind of cool. Are you challenging me to buy 500 vinyls?
Yes.
Yes, that's basically what I was applying the whole time. So, do you work on storyboards or scripts first, Louis? Well, like I said before, I do the music first, and that helps inform my decisions for the storyboards. I don't really draw storyboards because I just have it all in my head, really. I mean, if I was working with a team of people, I would be drawing storyboards for sure. So it usually goes music, animation. I skipped the storyboard part because I figured if I'm going to draw it, I might as well draw it once. It's in my head, right? And then the script comes in between animation, usually during the same time, really. And well, I do know that like I have to figure out what's going to happen in the storyline before I even start the music, but it's not like I don't like have the script written before I start making music, is what I'm saying. Music first, yeah. I think David Lynch says he works that way too. I was watching some interviews and he makes the music with his the guy he uses to collaborate with, and they visualize. It helps them visualize what he wants to do. So this is the shot. There's some issues with it. For instance, well, I should probably put all of this stuff in a separate pre-comp because the angle of this shot is low and then it gets high. So really you should be seeing more cloud at this point. And I can add more green in there just by making a solid green that doesn't move. Okay, so like that. And then as the camera moves up, so too will the background. So I'll probably start it like here, and then have it move to here, 240 to be exactly. And then this has to be a fade, or no, it's going to be curved, so there. It's subtle, I think, but it makes it look a little more realistic. Now I can do a whole, oops, I can do other things too to this shot, like well, I could draw. I don't want to put too much into it, but I feel like maybe it needs one more layer in the background, like mountains really, really far away. So I'll do that too. And these mountains will probably be like, oops. I don't know what color they'll be. Oh, they'll be like light yellow because they're super far. It's like the sun. Ladling. Are we in the simulation or is the simulation in us? Oh, wait. Anyways, here a $5 for the awesome art. Thank you, Ladling. I appreciate that. I don't know. It's weird to think about that sort of thing, and like I've been thinking about it more recently, but I don't know if we're in a simulation, but I'm starting to think like maybe I just feel like people just it's kind of strange how we're like alive and stuff, and we just kind of go about our days without even really thinking about what it even means to be alive, you know? I guess that's like me getting real deep right now. But I find it odd that like we just pretend that like there's like some sort of normal life and everything. I don't know what I'm talking about. Just getting these yellow mountains here. David Lynch is the master. Angelo Badalamenti makes incredible music. Yeah. I just watched a video with David Lynch interviews, and he had a great quote about ideas being like fish and searching for ideas like fishing. Do you ever go on a quiet spot and go fishing? I find for sure that if I'm having a hard time coming up with ideas, that if I just go outside and walk around, it helps me come up with new ideas. Like I was saying before in the stream, the Chimney Alfonso video was kind of inspired from just walking around out in the national parks, seeing like getting up top and seeing how far the view goes and that sort of thing. specifically talking about like the intro shot where it's like really wide and you see all those trees and it zooms in on the cabin. Okay, so here's my far mountains. And I think this will make the shot look a little bit nicer. Oh, I have to go in the right layer. Oh, they're going the wrong way. Hold on. And I'm going to adjust the sky because it's actually moving too fast now. And I want to bring it down a bit. There. That's looking better. Actually, I moved the mountains a little bit more. There we go. That's about right. I'm going to animate those clouds too because they're looking kind of static right now. So now the whole shot kind of looks like this. Hey, I get what you mean. Things are getting a little bit more surreal by the day the past few years. Senior Bill, I like your stream setup. Thank you, Senior. It's statistically probable that one of those missing persons gets stuck in a chimney too. The idea behind Chimney Alfonso is that he's like a type of mold that grows in the chimney. So it's just inevitable that he becomes stuck in the pipes. Like if you were to see him again, he'd probably be stuck in something. What?
Nothing. It's just the full character that he is, and just being stuck in a kind of tube or cylinder or box.
I don't like how thick the lines are in this. Okay, now I go back to After Effects. It looks good except for this one area where I made it too thin. What's your opinion on the allegations from Trudeau that I don't know, man. I'm trying not to pay too much attention to the news because there's just so much stupid stuff happens recently that I don't know. I can't focus. It's just too distracting to pay attention to that stuff for me. So I just try to animate, and that's about it now. Arse Biscuits, hello. Well, unfortunately for those who have just joined, I think I'm going to start wrapping this up because got my shot basically not finished, but it's mostly done, and I'm kind of running out of energy again. So thank you everyone who came in here and said hello and just talked with me. I really do appreciate it. And all those who have super chat and that sort of thing. Up until I release episode 23, yeah, sorry, Arse Biscuits, maybe next time. Up until I release episode 23, I might be streaming a little bit more often because I'm just finding it's helping me get through it because it's so much to do. But that's it. And algae, you will see more of Cammy for sure in episode 24, not 23. So this is 23, but in the future, you'll see her more. Okay, everyone. Thank you again so much. I'll talk to you all next time. Bye.
You're watching Umami.